Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Uncaged, Episode 6. 4 more away from the end of Season 1, and do we have a topic for you today? As always, I am Mike Larkin, and joining me by my side is my boy, DC Daniel Crimmins. Daniel, how you doing?
I am winning.
Aren't we all winning? And we are winning with this show because, folks, here's what we're going to be talking about today. It is the anniversary of What You Gotta Pay, $9.99, the WWE Network, and we're going to be talking about its first two events, NXT TakeOver Arrival and WrestleMania 30. Daniel?
No, it wasn't even Arrival. It was just TakeOver. No, it wasn't even TakeOver. It's just Arrival.
Arrival, okay, thank you. So just before even the takeovers, it was NXT Arrival. Thank you. But yeah, man, it's crazy to think like it's like 9 years now since we've had this WWE Network.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it how it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, with what we have now at Peacock, but you also have to remember at the time it was better because it's like, dang, man, what were we paying? Like 40-something bucks for pay-per-views?
More than that.
More than that, too. Like 50-something if you have HD or even more, yeah.
But I think like WrestleMania was almost like $100.
Yeah, you're right. At the time, yeah. And then the WWE Network came, and there are still some people still to this day that will pay for the pay-per-views instead of get the Peacock.
I don't understand that. But I will say this.
Yeah.
For Peacock, it works for non-wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a big Law and Order Special Victims Unit fan. And I like that I can just, pull up a season, watch a certain episode. Because I'm the type where, go through channels and you see, an episode, halfway through an episode and you're like, hey, I don't remember that. I don't remember that one. Go on a Peacock, you watch it. So I'll just go into the little guide on my TV channel and I'll look and say, okay, there it is. I like that. I just, the layout for Peacock does not work for me.
I mean, for me, like we both have the Peacock. I mean, it's fine. I get it for the WWE stuff and everything, but yeah, no, it's interesting because when the WWE Network started, we were all like, okay, we're gonna have these original series. We can watch whatever we want back in the library, and a lot of people did that for those that didn't like the product. But it's just like it was something that was different. And number one, and number two. Dude, I remember when TNA first started and we had to do like $10 for the Wednesday pay-per-views and then they went to pay-per-view. Like, it's better than just doing what we used to do for pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what? $10 for what all that we got.
Yes.
Was a tremendous deal. Like financially, like you wonder how they made money off of that.
Right, exactly. Well, remember back in the day we had that 24/7 on demand. That was like the early stages.
It was like the precursor to the network. And but this, like, there was so much. And I honestly, I enjoyed the originals, like Legends House. I know we only got one season, but that was good.
Roddy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Pat Patterson, Greg, the whole nine, man. Greg Valentine. Mm-hmm.
You have so many legends out there. Like, I would love to see another season.
I would have loved to too, yeah. But I mean, that was also around the time when they were still doing Holy Foley, and you had the countdown shows, and you had Swerve and all that. Yep.
I will say the greatest episode of Swerve was the one with Vince. Like, how do you not know? Looking back at this, like you see this guy and like the voice. Like, how do you not know?
Yes, trying to see if he could fool everybody in WWE headquarters there, and it's like, come on, he's dressed, the size, the stature, the voice.
I guarantee probably what it was is he probably sent like an in-office email that says, "Hey, I'm going to be doing this thing. You need to pretend it's not me. You need to be shocked or you're fired."
You got to be shocked or you're fired. You know it's not me. Come on, goddammit. But yes, that was definitely the best episode of Swerved. And I mean, we also had Camp WWE, the cartoon. Yep.
Table for Three. I really love that. Like I thought that was to get the perspective of the different talent on there. Even the one with the wives, I think it was Orton's wife.
Yep. Kurt Angle's wife and Rebby Sky.
And who?
And Rebby Hardy.
Yeah, Rebby.
Yeah, Rebby Hardy. It wasn't bad. I mean,
No,
she was.
not at all. Like it was interesting. I mean, some people kind of didn't like that episode, but you get the episode, you get it from the perspective of the women, that the wives that are, at home, are taking care of, the kids or the this or the that. I thought that was cool. Like I thought it would have been kind of a neat idea to do, like the flip side, do the husbands.
Right. And I mean, I think from that standpoint too as well, you have the table for threes. And I think what also that they did I thought was really, really good. I mean, they put the main events on there and stuff like that and superstars
Mm.
during that time. But I like the fact that we're getting a lot of this original content, like you mentioned. The 24 documentary series has always been stellar. We always get a great 24. So I mean, it's great to see that behind the scenes viewpoint. Oh, and especially now what we've had with like, just the storytelling of Untold and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like you need that variety.
The rivals and the Stone Cold podcast.
Yep. Well, the one time that they had the Jericho podcast instead of the Stone Cold podcast with Jarrett and Cena, yep.
I still think one of the greatest episodes they did of the Stone Cold podcast was when he had Jericho on there, and
Yeah.
they're openly talking AEW.
Well, for me, that one really sticks out to me because of everything that's going on. But what I got to say, and I got to bring it up, the Dean Ambrose one will always be the infamous one for many reasons.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Okay. From my standpoint, you can see if you can agree with me on this. They talked about family a lot. And you could tell he did not want to talk about his family life at all.
Well, Ambrose slash Mox slash whatever you want to call him, he's a private person.
Yep.
He's very much, you want to talk about me and what I've done, cool. I'm all for that.
Yep.
Like, we all know he's married to Renee Young.
Yep.
Or Renee Paquette, or whatever you want to call her. Everybody knows that. Like, he even said in interviews when she was doing the Total Divas, like, he hated that.
Well, I mean, the infamous episode is the fact that he chased that guy for stealing his hat, which, my God, that was still something that was a sight to see. But, like, you can tell as well, he's very awkward. You don't want to be on camera all the time. He's not the camera type. He's just like, leave me the fuck alone. I want to go over here.
He comes, does what he needs to do, does his job, and
He leaves.
like, can you blame him? Like, would you want to be like that?
No, I mean, when you're also around cameras, it's tough. It's the lifestyle. Everything's in your face, but also at the same time, like I've seen a lot of them. Like you look at the Usos were on that show, you see a lot of people that came from Total Divas, but it's like, God dang, man, like putting that right in your face. And like you mentioned with the Stone Cold podcast, Moxley, Jericho talk about AEW. I really thought it was interesting having people like Jeff Hardy on that and stuff, which has not aged well with everything that's been going on.
No, it hasn't.
No, it has not. But there's been a lot of ones that have been good. The Undertaker one, I think, was still one of the best ones that they've had come out from the Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, the the final ride or last ride or whatever.
Yes, yes.
And I think with it being WrestleMania, not this weekend but next week, and I think we would be remiss if we didn't at least briefly touch on, I think it was the first Mania that was on Peacock. Was it WrestleMania 36? Was that the one that was the COVID one?
Yes, that was the COVID one. Correct.
COVID Mania.
COVID Mania.
I still remember, like, and you and I talked back then, and what are they gonna do? Like, is mean first it was, well, they're gonna still do it at Raymond James Stadium, but it was gonna be empty stadium,
Right.
which I think that would have been cool.
Me too, but I mean, well, what they got with the Performance Center stuff, and I'm going to say this right now, still during that time period, it was still so awkward to watch wrestling, and it was tough. Like, no, it was tough.
I feel so bad for everybody involved in that show, like especially Drew McIntyre. Like he should have had his moment,
yes,
in front of tens of thousands of people, and but he made it work.
He did, and then he's yelling at the camera. I know you're not here with me, but this is for you, and you love that.
Brock made it work.
Yep.
But you know what? We've talked about cinematic stuff before.
Yep. I know. Boneyard match.
To me, when cinematic matches are done the right way.
Right.
Like, I'm not talking about the final deletion that Matt Hardy did in TNA because that is different. That was something that, Matt had control over.
Yeah.
What he did in the WWE, the ultimate deletion, that wasn't him.
No, that was a watered down version of it. Yes.
We're still good. Still
It was
really
good.
good.
But yeah, very much watered down.
Now, having said that, the Boneyard match to me was incredible.
I would have to say for both what they did, because the two cinematic matches was the Firefly Fun House match, different in its own right from what we have.
Loved it.
Loved it too. I know people crap on it, but I'm like, you have to understand the mind fuck of it. And also the fact that the Boneyard was Undertaker being a mixture of the Phenom and the American Badass, and AJ Styles played it so well. Like, it was such a good way for him to go out.
And for what it was, like, I honestly think if COVID hadn't happened, I still think that would have been Undertaker's last match.
Yeah, I think it would have been too. And he's even said, I think he said in the biography, it's like that would have been a regular match at WrestleMania if we didn't have COVID. It would have just been right in the stadium.
And it wouldn't have been as good. Because, he even admitted, by that point, the wheels were off.
Yeah, he was done. He knew he was done.
He couldn't do it. And he said to this day, does he feel like he could get back? He could lace up his boots. He could go back out there and do it again. Yeah, he says he thinks he could do it tomorrow. He says, but the problem is the body. No. But what that match did, it told a story. It told, you honestly, like, when AJ was calling his, making his shots about, Michelle and calling him Mark, like, we talk about breaking the fourth wall, like, you just mentioned the Undertaker's government name on television.
Yeah.
Like, we all know that he's not really a dead guy. We all know his name is Mark Calloway.
But you humanized him for the people.
And, like, just, like, the whole thing, like, watching it back, and I've watched the match since a few times, and it's still incredible. Like, for what it was, and the fact that on such short notice they made that work, and Triple H just talked about it. He said like they put that together in like 2 days.
I mean, and that was still around the time, and Undertaker's mentioned like his brother passed away, and it was a tough time, like when they were filming that. But what the matter of fact of what everything that went into it, from everything, from every little detail, like you mentioned, it made it work, and also it was something special that we've never seen before. And I think for what they produced, especially with the help of Gallows and Anderson and everyone involved, it was amazing. And also the Undertaker going out there, putting his hand up, the fist, the symbol, everything. Like it was the bomb diggity, man.
It was perfect, and for it to end that way, it was the final exclamation point. And like, honestly, could I see them, dragging the Undertaker out for a Saudi show?
Yeah.
And I think if Triple H called him, I don't think he'd do it. But I think if Triple H went to Vince and said, "Hey, here we got Saudi coming up, we need him,"
right?
I think Vince would make a call, and I think Undertaker would do it. For Vince, I think he would do it.
Oh, agreed. And I mean, the next Saudi show is not until May. It's the King and Queen of the Ring, which would be very interesting that they're doing.
Did I just put that idea out in the universe?
Why you just gotta put that little nugget in there, like, here, Vince, call him up, put Taker on the card.
Do I think they need him? No. But it was good. And even the Firefly Fun House, like, the Boneyard match was more of a wrestling match than the Firefly Fun House was.
Right.
Like, I wonder because they even talked, like, the Firefly Fun House, they talked about that while there are still fans in attendance. What was that match going to be?
Now, you see, if we had fans in attendance in a stadium, I don't think it would have been worked as well as what we got.
The question is, what would it have been?
I don't know. Like, it could have been like a hardcore match or something. That's what I pictured it to be, like something.
I imagined it being kind of like a street fight.
Yeah.
Maybe. And that also leads us to think, what's going on with Bray Wyatt now?
Oh, well, they said it's a health issue. It's a physical issue. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay too. And I mean, was I looking forward to him and Bobby Lashley? Yeah. Eh.
I would have preferred him and Brock.
I know, but Brock said no. I'm not doing this
Or
spooky
did
shit.
he?
What? Did Brock say no?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. I mean, that's the big thing is he said no, and then he's like, but I'll face the big guy. I'll take on the old.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that one bit. You know, I don't. Nothing against Omos. Like Omos has really he's gotten a lot better than he was.
Oh yeah, and he's stepping up to the plate. Yes, he is.
And this is the thing. This is what I tell people. And I know we're kind of going off on a tangent, but I hope you'll indulge me here for a moment. You need moments. You need highlight reels. Look at Hogan versus Andre of WrestleMania 3.
Hmm?
It was the image of Hogan. The question was, could he get Andre up? And we have that immortal image of Hogan with Andre just picking up, and you have that still shot.
Yep. Look at this. He slammed him. Yep. That's the shot. I mean, for me, I'll up one you on this because this involves Brock Lesnar. When I was 10 years old, 2002, and I was at Survivor Series 02, Brock and the Big Show. The whole story is Brock can't lift the Big Show. He suplexed him. He belly-to-bellied him. He Germaned him. Can he get him up for the F5? MSG popped when he got the F5. It doesn't have to be a five-star classic. This is just
Heyman's expression. Like, right? You watch that back. I have seen that expression very few times. Like, I think we saw it at WrestleMania 30.
Yep, which we'll get into.
And just, I kind of want to know, is he going to be able to F5 Omos?
That's what I'm curious to see. That's the thing. Can he F5 Omos?
And that's what makes people wonder. Like, is he going to be able to hit the move? Or is he going to have to resort to the Kimura lock, which we haven't seen that in a while?
No, not at all. Yeah.
Is he going to be able to hit Suplex City? I don't know. But, we talk about, like, moments. And, with the network, we got, WrestleMania 30, which was one of the better ones in the past couple years.
Yes, it was.
And we got Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, which I remember going, everyone was like, yeah, Brock's going to kick his ass, but then Undertaker's going to come back, hit a chokeslam, hit a tombstone, 1, 2, 3.
Nope, that's not what happened.
No. And I remember, Taker kicks out of the F5, and you go for, he gets the tombstone, and you're thinking like, this is it. And then you see him start to fall back. Mm-hmm. And Brock pick him up, and you hear the third F5, you're like, he's gonna kick out. You hear 1, 2. He's gonna kick out. 2, here it is. And then
3.
And just
the guy's face.
I remember my dad and I, God rest his soul, we were watching that, and we both just sort of looked at each other like, what the hell just happened?
That was the same thing. I was upstairs in my father's office. We were watching that, and we're like, did he just literally just beat The Undertaker? Like what the heck is going on?
And even the crowd, I mean, it was still, loud, but it was still like quiet. Like you just think like, what? What?
What? Right?
What just happened? And then I'll never remember. There was a shot of the shocked Undertaker guy, which, became a meme in and of itself. And God bless the guy. The dude is, he was so cool with everything.
Yep.
And then you just see the image on the Tron of just 21 and 1. And just thinking like, and I think what made that was that immediately the music didn't start.
Nope.
It wasn't like every other time where as soon as the ref hits 3, you hear the music. You hear, here's your winner. Like nobody knew. And I think it was the right. And let's be real here. If not Brock, then who?
Okay. I will refute this with you. And here's what I agree. A lot of people said that if they were going to actually end the streak, why couldn't it have been to like CM Punk the year prior? No. Because it wouldn't have worked. But this one makes sense because it's Brock Lesnar. Look at the year he was going to have. The beating Cena, just being that guy, Brock Lesnar. I mean, you had Roman do it later on, but I mean, at this particular time period, it did work.
It was pointless with Roman because it had already been done.
Right. It was pointless. I know they were trying to pass the torch, but
the only other name would have been Bray Wyatt.
Yes, if they would have done it the year after.
I will say this: WrestleMania 30, it should have been Bray versus Undertaker.
Right.
But having said that, Brock was a legit badass.
Yep, coming back from the UFC. Yep.
Well, not only that, but Brock is Brock. Like,
I mean, we saw him in the beginning in 2002 when he came out and mollywopped everybody in his debut. Maven, Spike Dudley, Al Snow, and then the progression to the King of the Ring to beating The Rock at SummerSlam. Like, that was a quick meet.
He damn near threw Spike Dudley from one end of the ring to the other, and almost Spike Dudley damn near hit his head on the bottom turnbuckle.
Yep, that he did.
Brock has even talked about this since. He said, yeah, he thought he killed the guy.
Yep, it was bad. Go back and watch Spike Dudley get powerbombed at Brock Lesnar's debut.
Look at when he hit Jeff Hardy with the chair.
Oh,
that sound.
That sound. Jeff Hardy just hit Brock. Boom, right there. Did not go down, folks. Did not go down.
And Brock is a legit monster.
Mm-hmm.
Very few guys could walk onto the practice squad of
the Minnesota
NFL team.
Yep.
Make the team.
Yep.
I mean, you look at Brock, and did he get it because of who he was and where he worked? Yeah.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's Brock freaking Lesnar.
2000 NCAA champ, man.
And, people talk about, UFC. Well, they say, Punk. They used CM Punk to get pay-per-view buys.
And it worked.
The fact is, Punk thought he could play UFC, and he got destroyed by guys that you haven't seen since.
Yeah, and we have not seen Mike the Truth Jackson, who absolutely mollywopped him since. Nope.
They gave him guys that Punk should have had no problem beating.
Mickey Gall, who absolutely mollywopped him.
And years ago, would Punk have been more of a threat? I think absolutely he would have.
Yes, absolutely.
But the time was up.
Right, and he was broken down when he started doing UFC.
And he's even said since it wasn't the right time. Like, he should have done it years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still remember Brock coming back in 2012. Like, I remember that day hearing the rumors saying that Brock Lesnar was backstage at Raw. Like, thinking, like, he's not coming back. It's probably related to the lawsuit.
Right.
And then the crowd reaction, the pop. And then, people go from hating Brock to now they absolutely love the guy.
Well, because he took out Cena the night after he lost to The Rock, and then that F5 and Cena's hat came off after he gave him the F5, which was hilarious. And he kicks the hat out of the ring. You gotta love it.
Greatest moment since Cena at One Night Stand 05.
Oh, God, yeah, with 06.
With sure.
Yes. The riot.
I will say, with WWE 2K23 and the showcase mode, that is actually in there. Like, that video clip. It's not the whole thing, because that went on for like 10 minutes.
Right.
Like, you have people, like, wiping their ass with it and then throwing it
back.
I'm not thinking, like, I really hope they warned him about that.
Right. I think they did, but it's just like, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was going to be.
Like, I really hope Van Dam probably said, dude, you're not going to have a good night.
Oh, man.
But you know what? You talk about moments, the early days of the network. And with WrestleMania 30, you have maybe, two moments? You think Daniel Bryan winning the title.
Yep.
And the streak.
Well, I have another moment since we're going to be talking about the cards. We'll do WrestleMania first. Cesaro winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and slamming the Big Show.
And they did fuck all with him.
And they did shit with him afterwards. It was the first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Cesaro wins, then he's immediately a Paul Heyman guy, and he goes nowhere.
Yeah. Like, okay. Like, that would have been the time to put him in the world title picture.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's an idea. Money in the Bank.
I think all he did after that, I think he had like a brief feud with Rob Van Dam. He did a brief thing with Swagger because him and Swagger were no longer the Real Americans. And then that was it for like a while.
Which was still weird as hell.
It was. It was absolutely weird. It just
makes no sense.
It made no sense. But also on that card, I have another moment. The second matchup of the Shield and 6-man tag match at WrestleMania, and the shortest match of the night. They beat Kane and the New Age Outlaws. That was a feud. The Shield turned face. They left the Authority, and they took on Corporate Kane and the New Age Outlaws.
No, they took on Glenn Jacobs.
You're gonna go there.
Yeah,
you're gonna go there. Okay. It was a squash, folks. It was Shield power bombs galore. It was a squash.
And you know what? I think it's absolutely great that each member of the Shield has gone, their own ways and have all been insanely successful.
Right.
And I can't imagine three other guys that would have worked in that faction. Like, they said Chris Hero, I think at one point was supposed to have Roman's spot.
Yeah, Punk wanted Cassius Ohno in there. It wouldn't have worked.
And no, honestly, it wouldn't have had the effect. And thank God they overruled Punk on that.
Well, it was him because him and Chris Hero have that indie history.
Yeah.
But it would have sucked.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. Who else was he going to ask for? Nick Gage?
Oh God. Well, he wanted it to be Seth Rollins, but he wanted Cassius Ohno, and then WWE said no, we're going to give you Roman Reigns, and it worked.
What?
And he got Mox in there, who at the time wasn't really on NXT TV. He was on FCW TV, but when he got into the new NXT, he wasn't there. But yeah,
I think he was hurt, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was. I mean, he did the feud with William Regal, and then that was it for a little while.
We kind of got that weird Twitter beef with Mick Foley.
Oh God, that went nowhere. For those that don't remember, it was supposed to be Moxley and Ambrose, and Mick Foley, because they had that thing at the Hall of Fame.
Well, there's actually a story behind that.
Hit me. Go ahead. What happened?
So, if you ever get a chance to see a Mick Foley stand-up show, which, hey, if you ever get that chance, go.
Yes, it's hilarious.
And he tells that story of what happened.
Okay.
They were supposed to do something. I think they were supposed to do a match in FCW or whatever. And he was all set to put Moxley over.
Right.
He was set to do it. He was cool with it. But, his doctors told him, they just said, Mick, no. With what you want to do, no.
I mean, can you blame him? Like, after all that?
Knowing what the kind of matches Mox has had.
Yes.
I mean, my God, the guy wakes up and is already bleeding.
He bled on that latest the AEW house show already.
He wakes up, brushes his teeth,
and bleeds,
and is already bleeding.
Yep.
I mean, it's an internet thing. Like, how he doesn't have any blood, how he has any blood left in his body is beyond me.
It's how he rolls, but yeah.
But I digress. And it got to the point where Mick's doctors, they told me, said, Mick, no, you can't. So I guess he had told WWE management, he just said, look, I'm sorry, I just, physically I can't do it. And Mox, being Mox, he went overboard. And to the point where I guess Mick had to tell him, be like, knock it off.
Right.
But I guess it got a little, heated. I guess Mox brought in, mentioned Mick's family. And that's when Mick basically kind of had to put his dad voice on and basically said, you're done.
Yeah, we got to stop doing this now. But yeah.
And I mean, I will say it. Moxley is, the modern day Mick Foley.
That he is. And I mean, you look at, speaking of WrestleMania, I mean, the infamous matchup that could have been more than what it was, and I think he wanted to do more. Him and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32 wasn't exactly the greatest hardcore match ever.
Well, to be fair, Lesnar, I think that was right around the time when he was taking a break to do the UFC again.
Yeah, that was 2016.
Which they should not have done it.
Yep.
That should have been like his way of basically saying, I'm done.
Right. And I mean, with everything that went on with Mike Hunt and everything that happened with that whole fight there. Mark, what'd I say, Mike?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, Mark Hunt. I get it. I'm sorry. Whatever. Anyway, the Hunt guy. That sounds like you know what.
I think he's the New Zealand fellow.
The New Zealand fellow. Thank you. But yes, that everything that happened there, you're correct. But yeah, it's 6 years ago already. Dagnabbit. But no, what happened at that time with Brock Lesnar going, and we didn't get the Ambrose craziness that he wanted. I mean, you had Terry Funk involved, you had Mick, and he had bringing them the weapons. But yeah, nothing.
You wonder what it could have been.
I think he wanted like a CZW type match, and Brock was like, no.
I think had Brock not had the UFC, I think Brock would have done it.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Brock's never done a match like that.
No, he's never done anything like a crazy type of match. I mean, he's done the stretcher match with the Big Show, but I think that was about it as far as like craziness.
I'm sorry. Whenever I hear the words Big Show and stretcher, I always have that image of
Rey Mysterio.
He whacks him against the ring post and just drops him.
Backlash 03, remember? Yes.
Literally just he drops him. And he bounces.
Poor Ray. Poor Ray, who is going into the Hall of Fame this year alongside. All right, we're going to say this, and before we even get to the show, because I know we go into our little tangents, and this is why I love you. Hall of Fame, so far right now, it's Rey Mysterio, the Great Muta, and Andy Kaufman.
Andy fucking Kaufman.
Damn straight.
No.
No?
Fuck no.
You're not a fan of Andy Kaufman going in?
I don't mind Andy Kaufman, but when you have so many great wrestlers that, are not in.
Yes.
And you're putting him in over them?
I understand, yes. Well, I mean, for celebrities, too. I mean, they haven't even put in Regis yet. Cyndi Lauper's not even in the Hall of Fame yet.
I mean, to be fair, Kaufman actually wrestled
women. And he did the Lawler thing, yes.
And it worked, I guess there's the rumor that a referee's going to be going in this year.
I mean, what referee would you put in? Like,
there's Jimmy Corderas they could do. There's
Little H.
Charles Robinson. There's Nick Patrick. There's Mike Chioda. There's Earl Hebner. But I know Hebner, WWE are not.
I mean, this would be a second Hall of Fame. He's in the Impact Hall of Fame. I know. Go ahead. That face. The face.
Impact. No, that doesn't fucking matter.
I know. Him, Team 3D, Gail Kim, and all of them. Jeff Jarrett, and all of them that are in Abyss, Ken Shamrock.
But I will say this. Hebner, I'd be cool with that. Maybe. I know he hated Vince for the way Vince treated him. So, I mean, then again, you were selling bootleg WWE shirts.
Right. I mean, come on now. Come on now. I mean, for the other ref, you could do one, God rest his soul, Tim White.
Yep. I still remember those cringy videos they would put out.
No, with him and Josh Matthews, and he's chugging down the rat poisoning.
The suicide videos, like
the hitman.
Who thought that was a good idea?
All right, so I love you for bringing this up. So at the time, they did the thing where Tim White was at the bar, and Undertaker and Randy Orton were having the Hell in a Cell match. And Tim White has these overall effects ever since he got injured in the Hell in a Cell with Jericho and Triple H from Judgment Day 02. Yep. And that led to the Tim White suicide videos that were almost weekly on WWE.com with him and Josh Matthews.
Yeah. And like, why?
Because the effects of Hell in a Cell, Daniel. The effects of Hell in a Cell.
Like, and I will say this, like, now, Hell in a Cell is just,
I mean, this year we're going to get Edge and Finn Balor, and it looks like they're teasing that the Demon will be back for Hell in a Cell.
I'm sorry, but after his match with Roman, the Demon just doesn't fucking mean anything.
Oh, God, after that whole schmaz, yes.
And the turnbuckle just falling apart.
Yeah, I get it.
Literally no explanation, just,
It happened.
I mean, a darker Demon Finn Balor, maybe, but like, to me, Hell in a Cell needs to change. Like, do something different with it.
Right.
Make it look more menacing.
So, I don't know. I mean, they've had so many different changes with the Hell in a Cell. With what they're looking to do, like we mentioned, the Demon thing, like with the Edge's promo, it's like, are we going to get Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great from the storytelling perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know.
His promo on Raw was fantastic.
It was really, really good, but I don't know. I don't know. The card does look great. I am hyped for WrestleMania next week.
It's an okay card. I mean, the only one match I really do not give a shit about is the Dominic Mysterio match.
Really? Come on. The story's been great going into that. Come on. Why not?
A promo aspect, he just doesn't do it for me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I will say this. I think once we get to the Hall of Fame and he does something so outrageous with Conan inducting Ray Ray, Orderly Arriva La Raza, like, I'm going to be very interested to see if he attacks his uncle. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, he will.
Oh.
And that's when they're going to make it official for literally the next night.
Right. Or next week, I think they're doing something with his mother. So we'll see. We shall see. But also the fact that Conan is going to have a live microphone at the Hall of Fame is going to be absolutely.
Oh, God.
Arriba La Raza all day, every day.
This is not going to end well.
Probably not, but I'm looking forward to it.
To me, this is on the level of Scott Steiner in the Hall of Fame.
Right, but I think Conan will be tame because him and Ray are boys, and Ray wanted it, and they said yes. They said yes.
I don't think so. I don't think it's. I think with Steiner, I imagine Braun Breaker probably went up to his Uncle Scott and he said, look, Uncle Scott, like, you cannot do this. Like, you have to be good.
And you also have to look at it from Rick's point of view, like, hey, my son is going to be wrestling the next night on this show. Don't do it.
Don't fuck this up.
Don't fuck it up. Don't say anything. I mean, well, we got Great Muta going in, and Ric Flair is going to be inducting the Great Muta.
I think that's great.
I think that's
too. Didn't I call this months ago?
Well, you said it during the Great Muta's retirement, or watch, you're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. That's what you exactly said. Watch, you're going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I called this months ago when they first announced that he was going to be retiring. I said Hall of Fame.
Yep, and here we are.
And I fully imagine we'll get some kind of spot with him at Mania, maybe.
With the Mist, yeah. Yeah.
The sad part is so many people are, when they announced it, they're like, who?
People. What is wrong with you people?
Legend. YouTube is your friend.
Japan, WCW, hello.
One of the greatest Japanese stars of all time.
Mm-hmm. Up there with Liger, yep.
Believe he was even IWGP Heavyweight Champion a couple of times.
Yes, he was. Yep.
And the whole Sammy and Kevin thing has come full circle. Like,
I love it.
I will say this. I think Jey Uso is going to cost Roman the match.
I think so, too. I think we're finally going to get that. I mean, with what we have with Cody and Roman, I think if Randy Orton is cleared and if Cody wins, I think that's the first opponent right there, him and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And also the fact, I will say this, a lot of people, we were talking about builds, a lot of people thought that the Asuka Bianca Belair build has been quite boring. Yes. But also at the same time, the match is going to be good. The damage control, which it comes full circle. Like, look at Dakota Kai, man. She goes from getting released last year around this time, and now this year she's in a big profile matchup at WrestleMania against Trish and Lita.
Yeah.
Like, it comes full circle, man. And Seth and Logan Paul should be good. What do you think?
People hate Logan Paul, but the dude has really, like, when you look at other celebrities that have wrestled, people like fucking Johnny Knoxville, guys like,
Bad Bunny.
yeah, Bad Bunny, Snooki.
Yes, that was not bad.
That was a thing. That was a thing.
And it was not bad. It was not bad at all. It was good, though.
But Logan Paul has put in the work.
Yes.
Had a great match with Roman.
And his third match.
Tore it down.
Yep.
Got hurt early on. Didn't he tear a hamstring or tear a quad? No, he tore his ACL.
Yeah, when he did the "you're going viral" moment with the phone. Yep.
And he still
Finished the match.
And you know what? Hate him all you want for personal shit, because I'll admit he's a douche.
He is. Drink Prime, baby. Drink Prime.
I tried that shit. It's not good.
Okay, we're going to talk about this here. Sidebar here, Mr. Daniel Crimmins. A lot of people like it. People endorse it. Is it that bad?
Yeah.
What does it taste like?
It's like an over sugared Gatorade.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, if you can find it on YouTube, there's a video of Gordon Ramsay reviewing it.
Gordon
that tells you all you need to know.
Gordon Ramsay had Prime?
Like, he was doing some interview and they had him try it, and it went over about as well as you can expect.
Oh, bloody hell, this fucking Prime.
And it's like, ugh.
Yes,
Look, I give him credit. I give Logan Paul credit. Do I think we're eventually going to get Jake Paul?
Yes.
I mean, he did lose to Tommy Fury.
Yes, he did.
And, do I feel like we would have gotten Tyson Fury already in a WWE ring? If he could get over into the United States, absolutely. Supposedly he can't make it into the country.
I mean, with what they have there, I think that's going to be stellar. And I think it's going to lead to more possibilities. And the only thing with WrestleMania is, I know they've announced it. What do you think about the men's tag team showcases and the women's tag team showcases?
I like it. I think it's something different. But I think you need to up the stakes. Like, you need to not just have a random match. Have it be like for
What are the number one contenders for the tag titles?
Even better. Make it a ladder match. Right. Tag team Money in the Bank.
I like it. I like that. Something we never seen before.
So that way, they have the tag team Money in the Bank. Never been done before.
I like it.
That way, something. And I am going to say this. You know how much I am a fan of Otis.
Yes.
Or should I say
Otis. Yeah, Otis.
I love what they're doing with him.
Me too. It's funny. It's great. The pedicures.
And not only that, but I love the whole Chad Gable shit.
Because he's trying to get him to, like, well, come on, Otis, we got to do this, Alpha Academy. And Maxine's
like, whole,
shoosh. Thank you.
And the fact that it's part of their theme music.
Shoosh, please.
And it's just a loud shoosh. I love it.
And that's the thing. People are like, oh, God, what are they doing with Otis? I'm like, shut up. It's funny. Like it's funny. It's hilarious that he's Otis.
Yeah, it's not Otis.
Otis.
The only thing that would make it better is if they brought back Tucker.
Tucky.
Tuckay.
So we'd have Mansois, Massey, Otis, and Tuckay.
Yeah. Or should I say, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking love LA Knight.
Like, dude, like, he's so good. And everybody's like, oh, he keeps losing. I'm like, he's gonna get there, people. Just let it flow. Let it marinate a little bit. Stop it. Give it time.
Honestly, he made it work.
He did.
he's one of those guys where he's just got it.
He does.
You know, we got Austin Theory versus Cena, which, if they are smart, Theory wins it hands down.
A-Town down.
Because, you know, Theory is one of those guys. We know Theory can get over as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if he can get over as a face. Because Cena is one of those guys. Let's look at Cena for a minute.
Okay.
Which, folks, if you need more proof of what Cena can do, I recommend you go to Peacock. I believe you can do a free trial there. And you can watch all your WWE content for only $9.99. Although I think if you want the commercial-free version, I think you have to pay a couple bucks more, which still...
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, yeah, not a bad... It's a good value. Cena started off as, you know, the squeaky clean baby face, which was hot garbage.
Ruthless aggression.
I mean, even he has said, what the hell was that?
Well, I mean, it was nothing special because he just wore different trunks every week.
It was the generic trunks. Like
it was the Creator Wrestler trunks. It was Creator Wrestler 1.0.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But then, you know, I think he did I think it was a Halloween episode. He dressed up as like Marky Mark or some
Yeah, he dressed like Vanilla Ice on Halloween. Yep.
And then they saw what he could do, and they're like, all right, we'll do that.
And then he got B squared, Will Buchanan, to rap. Booyah!
I wonder whatever happened to him.
Well, we have his kid in NXT now. So.
Who is it?
Brooks Jensen.
Oh, is that who that is?
That's his kid, yep.
You know what? Hear me out.
Yep.
Raw. Bring back Bull Buchanan just for one night.
Oh, God. I like Bull Buchanan. A lot of people used to crap on Bull Buchanan, but I'm like, Bull Buchanan was good. He was not bad.
And then have him and Austin Theory do something.
Oh, yeah, and you can have him take him out because he was former Cena's boy, so I could see that, absolutely.
I mean, at this point, there's nothing left for Cena to do.
Nope, nothing. Like, I mean, just to put over guys, I think there was talk of a SummerSlam match with him and Logan Paul.
Yeah, I'll be honest, what I would really love to see Cena do is hit 17.
Me too. Me too.
I would not hate it.
No, and I think
Ric Flair has even said he's okay with it.
Right. And I think it would be something special. But
I mean, he says that now, but you know Rick.
Oh, yeah. When he's not feuding with Dutch Mantel on Twitter.
What the hell is that? Or for those of you that don't know,
yes,
Zeb Coulter.
Yes. We, the people.
Which, honestly, I really think they need to bring him back. Because, you know, with everything going on politically, I feel like you got something there.
You do. And I mean, with today's topic being WrestleMania 30, we did mention that, but I got to bring these up to you, Dan, because I know we're doing the bouncing all over the place.
WrestleMania 30, we would be remiss. We would not be doing our jobs if we did not mention the opening of WrestleMania 30.
Daniel Bryan and Triple H.
Oh, no. Before that.
The Usos. What?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh.
And The Rock.
Sorry, I thought you were talking matches. The Silverdome, baby. The Silverdome. Hulk.
The first couple times they reminded him, they're like, dude, this is the Superdome. And then they were just like, he's just going to do it.
He's just going to say the Silverdome. Let him go. It's okay. No, well, here's the special part. Austin, The Rock, and Hogan all in one ring. Austin, Rock, and Hogan all in one ring, Daniel.
Yeah.
I know, man. But it was good. And Hogan had left.
I'll say, fuck Hulk Hogan.
I know. He had left TNA, and then he came back.
No, just fuck him.
I know, man. I know. But, I mean, even before that, like you mentioned Zeb Coulter, here are the teams that were in the pre-show for the tag titles. The Usos, Los Matadores, Diego and Fernando, Primo and Epico, Cesaro and Swagger, and Rybaxel.
And of all those teams,
who's still there?
Only two guys.
Yep, the Usos are the only ones still there. Oh, I mean, yeah, good.
I will say this. I'm invested in this whole thing with the Usos and Sammy and Kevin, because, and this is where it gets unique.
Right.
This is like a total. There's like 3 storylines going on here.
The Usos against Kevin and Sammy, Sammy and Kevin, Roman and Cody.
And so there's there's the Usos and Sammy. There's the Usos and Kevin Owens. There's the Usos versus Sammy and Kevin together. Then there's Usos versus the whole Usos versus Cody. Usos. This whole thing. People talk about wanting long-term storyline.
This is long-term booking at its finest.
To the point where, and I enjoy it when it's done well. AEW, when they had Hangman and Kenny Omega, very well done.
Right.
Sammy and Kevin was really well done. This whole bloodline thing, do I want it to end? No. But am I curious to see how it ends?
Yes.
Absolutely. Do I see one of them costing Roman the match?
Yes.
And I will say this. How great was Roman's promo last night?
Oh my God. He's just like, oh, you went to another company and you didn't get over and you ran away. I'm like, Jesus.
He basically said he said you couldn't get over here, you ran away to another company, couldn't get over, and you ran back.
Yep. It was
like, ooh.
He went there. He went there.
It's that John Cena gif, where he's like, ooh.
Yep, at the Hall of Fame when The Rock talked about the Marine.
He went there.
He did. He did go there.
And when he talked about how when Roman loses, he's going to lose his tribe.
Yep.
I forget who said it. Now is the time to bring in Rikishi.
I'd like it. I mean, just again, that brings it all back to the bloodline and the throne and the families. Absolutely. And the Samoan dynasty. Yep.
Because I feel like eventually we're going to get Jay and Roman again.
I think we are. And I mean, if we get towards like the summer, that would have been like what, the 3-year anniversary of them actually doing that. Yeah.
And, you look at Mania 30 to where we are now, almost 10 years later.
Yep.
And where wrestling is in relation to that is incredible. Right.
I mean, you look at the evolution of where Daniel Bryan, like we mentioned earlier in the story,
exactly.
like Daniel Bryan and Triple H, then Daniel wins the title. Bray and John Cena, we mentioned the Firefly Fun House.
I will say this, Triple H, one of the absolute greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. Did he not put people over when he should have? Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. But then again, so did The Rock.
Yep.
So did Austin.
Everybody has done that. Yep.
Everybody has done it. Name any of the big names. Flair. Harley Race. All of them have buried somebody when they shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. Should Booker T have beat Triple H at WrestleMania 19? Absolutely.
Yes. With how hot he was at the time, absolutely.
We could do a whole discussion on that.
Right.
Another episode?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Missed booking opportunities. Next episode.
There you go. We're going to do it right there. Next episode is missed booked opportunities. You're here first. Absolutely.
So now, where does that leave us? So, you look at Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, opening match of WrestleMania 30. And you've heard me say this. I've said it on the TSK show. The opening match is just as important, if not more so, than the main event. What people hear that and they think, what are you talking about? Nobody cares about that.
Brett Owen.
I will tell you, the reason why the opening match to me of any show is the most important, it's your hook.
Yep. And it sets the tone for the evening.
Exactly. If you have a great first match, it sets the tone for the entire show. Right. If you have a lackluster opening match, it can throw off the whole show.
Yep.
And it's like a train wreck. Right. Having said that, we look at who we got for the main event of we had the whole story was Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Winner goes on to the triple threat.
Yep.
And everybody thought, God, it's going to be Triple H.
Yep. And then Swerve Haruni, Daniel Bryan gets it. And we're getting
that match was incredible.
One of the best openers in WrestleMania history. Absolutely.
And honestly, I'll do you one better. I would say that's probably one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time.
Nope, I'm right there with you just because of everything from the Yes takeover, the Yes movement taking over, and how red hot Daniel Bryan was. Absolutely.
It was one of those moments that it didn't go the way we thought, And then it was so organic, much like Kofi Mania.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, well, what about Sammy? I feel like there's a much bigger story here. Like, there is something more going on here that I want to see how this plays out. It's like a good TV show or a good book. You watch how you think it's going to go. It doesn't go that way, but you still keep going. Do I think Sammy should be in the main event and win the title? Absolutely. But
what they're doing now with the tag titles makes a whole lot.
And it's putting attention on the tag titles.
Right.
And where does Solo fit in all this bloodline bullshit?
Like I said, that's even the most mysterious part of that with the whole thing with Solo Sikoa.
Like, if you remember, like Sammy said it in one of the promos leading up to the Elimination Chamber, he said, he saw how close you and I were getting, and then he pulled you in close.
Right.
What is Roman doing? He's pushing away Jay and Jimmy, and he's bringing Solo in close.
Mm-hmm.
So we can all agree it's probably going to be Jay that's going to, cost Roman the match. There's going to be some bullshit.
I'm curious to see just how they book it, and I think here's the thing. I love the history of it too because Cody Rhodes is the one who pinned Roman when they won the tag titles, him and Goldust against the Shield. And now look at where they are now. Roman and Stardust in the Royal Rumble. Look where they are now. Like, that sets the tone. And like you mentioned here, Daniel Bryan, Triple H, and then Daniel Bryan beats Randy Orton and Batista. Like, that set the tone for the evening, and that sets up the tone for a great WrestleMania. And on the sidebar here, I got to bring this up to you as we're talking about these WrestleMania moments. Probably one of the worst ones on that card, WrestleMania 30. Do you remember the Vicki Garrell Invitational match for the Divas Championship?
Let me put it this way. Do I blame any of those girls? Absolutely not. And
No.
I'll say this, folks. For those of you that don't recall where the matches fell on the card.
Oh, God, yeah. This was semi-main event.
Right after Brock and Taker.
Yes.
And I remember Paige or Saraya, whatever you want to call her now, she even said that she knew, like, because they were all watching that match. She said, we all had the same reaction, like, shit. Actually,
how do we follow that?
Actually, no, she wasn't in that match because she was the next night. It was AJ Lee.
All right, you ready for these participants, Daniel?
Yeah.
Oksana, Alicia Fox, Brie Bella, Cameron, Emma, who's now back in WWE, Eva Marie, Layla, Naomi, Natalia, Nikki Bella, Rosa Mendez, Summer Rae, and Tamina.
Okay, now I think about it, was one of the Bella twins that was talking about it. That, like, because they were all watching it together, Brock and Taker, and they said that they knew that. And I see your cat.
Hey, buddy.
And we all saw it. We saw the match end. As soon as the ref's hand counts 3, they all thought, shit.
Yeah, now we got to follow this.
Not only that, but they knew the crowd was going to be dead, and they were.
They were. Nobody cared.
Shocking. Like, it was like, what just happened? Like,
well, you talk about the placement, too. Look what was before that, John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
They couldn't win, and the one thing this did is this helped, I think, kick off the Give Divas a Chance, the Divas Revolution.
Right. And I mean, everybody talks about the match with them and Paige and Emma, so yeah. It's interesting, but yeah, I agree with you there. And I mean, like we mentioned, there also John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Like, love the feud, love the Attack of the Elimination Chamber. Wrong guy went over.
Wrong person won that
Wrong
match.
person won, but it was a damn good match.
Oh yeah. But you know what that feud got us? I think it's probably one of the most iconic moments, at least in the past several years of Raw. Cena's doing the promo in the cage
With the kids.
in the children's choir.
And people used to make fun of that, I remember. But I'm like, no, that made sense because Cena's all about the kids. And then he looks like he wants to throw up.
And the crowd, I just remember the lights going out and you just hear he's got the whole world in his hands. And it was perfect. Like, you think creative minds, to me, there is no greater creative mind than Bray fucking Wyatt.
I agree wholeheartedly. And people think he's a mixed bag of nuts with what he books, but I'm like, no, it is good.
You give him the right person to work with, and he hits it out of the fucking park. Every goddamn time.
Like, I enjoyed this last feud with LA Knight. I thought both worked very well together.
Now, everyone always talks about what's going on with him, and to me, where's Alicia Fox? Or not Alicia Fox, where's Alexa Bliss?
We don't want to know where Alicia Fox is. Alexa Bliss.
Okay. Where is she?
I don't know.
She said, I'm ready to go.
Yep. I'm really curious to see what they do with her. And I mean, with this WrestleMania, if you remember, this is the one with her and Sasha Banks were part of Triple H's entrances, speaking of Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was her, Charlotte.
And Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Oh. See, early Alexa Bliss, folks.
We get Charlotte versus Rhea, the rematch. I am looking forward to this.
Did you see people bitching that, oh, why is this the main event? She won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Nobody puts Mommy in the opening match.
Nobody puts Baby in the corner. Nobody puts Mommy in the opening match. I like it.
And, I would feel remiss if we didn't at least talk about, what's going on. And honestly, it's fucking disgusting that she even had to tweet this.
Oh my God! Just the whole thing with just everybody going after her. Well, first of all, people got to stop harassing her at the damn airport.
And it's not just her. It started with the whole Rey Mysterio thing. When people said that, he was refusing to sign, for kids, and you have people come along and just say, yeah, no, that's not what happened. People, they bring their little brothers or their kids, have them sign shit just to put on eBay.
Yep.
CM Punk mentioned it in the infamous pipe bomb. He says, "You're the ones that harassed me at the airport for an autograph." And Rhea's even said, "No, I'm not signing anything outside of like an autograph signing, like an authorized signing." No.
Or if you have a photo of me and you're polite about it, sure. Everything else, no. That you and I took together, no, I'm not going to sign anything.
Like, I mean, to me, I would rather just meet them, just say hi.
Right.
I mean, Jim Carrey has even talked and said like he doesn't do autographs.
Do I blame him? No.
Because he said like he doesn't even do pictures. Because he said he would much rather fans have that memory. Like, I've met Mick Foley and I have that memory of knowing that I met him. It's a shame. And you and I talked about this. If I'm booking Rhea versus Charlotte, I'm booking it in the style of Brock versus Cena at SummerSlam.
Where she just mollywops her.
Destroys her.
Yep.
Charlotte gets no offense. And then Charlotte disappears until like SummerSlam.
Yep.
Because to me, Rhea Ripley is your hottest commodity right now.
And I think, don't they want to do Rhea and Ronda if it's on SmackDown? I think that's something that they want to do in the future, Rhea and Ronda.
I want it.
Me too. I'm all for it.
Have Rhea just destroy fucking everybody.
She's from where she was 3 years ago when she was the NXT champion with that. She has grown leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds.
Exactly. It works. This whole mommy thing. You had Vicki Guerrero come out on an AEW pay-per-view wearing a WWE shirt.
Yep.
Like, I remember watching it, I was like, hey.
Now, that's the curious question now, since she's no longer with AEW. Do you see her being involved in Mania in regards to, like, the whole Dominic Ray thing? Yeah.
If they're smart,
Yep.
if they are smart, they will have contacted her already. And they would have her turn on Ray and help Dominic win.
Right? I wish I should have been Eddie's son. Yes.
And have her manage Dominic.
Oh my God, the excuse me's and the heel heat.
He doesn't need to talk. That's part of the reason why people boo him so much is because of his voice.
He does have that annoying voice.
Like, but you have Vicki do the talking.
Mm-hmm.
And it works.
Does it fits like hand in glove.
And but you have Rhea just mop the floor with her.
Oh, agreed. I really see now. I really am looking forward to that. That being the main event of night 1, and Roman and Cody being the main event of night 2. And like we talked about here at WrestleMania 30, like for me with Daniel Bryan being one of the greatest endings of WrestleMania, like Conor Mahal, God rest his soul, going over there, winning the title for him. Like for me, it's such a shame to even talk about it as well now because of the fact that he got injured not too long after that. He had the feud with Kane and then he went away and he had to relinquish the titles.
That match with Kane, even in and of itself, was just weird.
What the Inferno one, right? Yeah, the Inferno match.
No, it was just like an Extreme Rules match.
Was it? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He brought out the forklift and he lowered it on Kane and just pinned him that way.
Yes. Wasn't there one where Kane was on fire though too? Am I thinking of something else?
That was Kane and somebody else. I forget who.
Okay, yeah, keep going. Oh no, Bray Wyatt. That was the same year. Bray Wyatt, no, or a year earlier. That was the Ring of Fire thing. Okay, I'm probably thinking of that. Anyway.
Oh God.
Oh, I know. Inferno match, but we're not going to call it an Inferno match.
Whatever.
But yes, no, that Extreme Rules match was so bizarre. It was a bizarre feud, and then yeah, he unfortunately got hurt. But I got to ask you now, being the WrestleMania pageantry, we do have NXT because this was the start with the arrival here. The takeover that we have now. Did you see the matches that we have for NXT Stand and Deliver now?
I just Carmelo Hayes and Breaker, right?
Okay, so what they announced tonight, because of everything that's going on, it is Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller, which is now going to be an unsanctioned match. Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyrie, and one other participant for the NXT Women's Championship in the ladder match. Fallon Henley and Kiana James against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Wesley against Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, and one final competitor for the North American Championship. Gallus against the Creed brothers and the family, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, in a triple threat for the tag titles. And in an 8-person tag, the debut of Ava, what's her face? Ava, oh God, friggin' Rock's daughter, Ava, whatever her name is now. Ava Rain.
Ava Rain.
Ava Rain, thank you.
I think they're just calling her Rain now.
Whatever, yeah, Ava Rain. Jagger, Reed, and Rip Fowler, the Grizzly Young Veterans, and Joe Gacy. The Schism against Chase University's Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Thea Hale, and teaming with them is Tyler Bate, with the stipulation being the winner gains control of Chase U.
I will say, yes, I am a big fan of Joe Gacy.
I think he's, from where he was in CCW in the Indies, what we have now, he has come leaps and bounds.
There is something about him that is just special.
He can talk. He can work. It's good. He plays the cult leader well.
Every so often, you get a talent, you get a wrestler, and I don't care what promotion. It could be any promotion. WWE, WCW, AEW, Impact, fucking GCW. You have a talent that comes along and just there's something special.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see that in Gacy.
Oh, yeah. Another one that I'm watching, not part of WWE, Masha Slamovich.
Oh, GCW champ, Impact Wrestling, yep.
got a lot of hate for winning that title.
I don't. I look at it when like Lufisto was in CCW as the heavyweight champion and doing stuff with Lufisto was there, and you had people like Mischief. Like I don't hate it. I don't hate it one bit.
No. And I'm sure if Nick Gage didn't want to do it, I think he could have gone to Brett Lauderdale and said, look, I'm not doing this fucking shit.
Right.
I mean, it's Nick Gage. Like, are you going to say no to him?
Nick F. and Gage, man.
FDK.
FTK. Well, if you know, you know. If you know.
And if you don't know, it ain't for you to get.
Ain't for you to get. Teddy P. Anyway, NXT arrival, since we did cover the WrestleManias and everything, let's talk about this one here because, like I said, dude, this is why I love what you and I do, talking that pro wrestling. Do you remember a lot of the matches on this show? Because I got to tell you some of these that did happen.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't the women's match, wasn't it Paige and Emma?
Yes, Paige and Emma for the NXT
Paige
women.
had been hurt.
Right.
Come back. I had a great match, those two did.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, I'd never watched NXT before this. Like, it was the first time I'm seeing it.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I watched it, when it was like the variety show on Sci-Fi.
Oh God, the game show. Yes. Shoosh. The musical chairs. The friggin' Titus O'Neil falling before the Greatest Royal Rumble on his ass.
I still remember. I don't know if it was. I think it was on an episode of Raw actually, and Ric Flair is shoving Stacy Keibler down.
Yes, the musical chairs, and it was when Eugene was the GM, and the winner would get a title shot that night. Yes, woo, 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 woo.
And he just
get the fuck out of here, Stacy.
Oh, good old Ric Flair.
Good old Ric Flair. But you're right. And here's the thing: I found ways. I'm going to put that in quotations. I found ways to watch NXT at the time because this is before the network. But yeah, I had seen it. I had kept up with it. I thought it was interesting. It was different. You know what I'm saying?
I used to read the results on various dirt sheets.
Yes.
You'd always hear names like that's how I first heard Bray Wyatt's name. Was like you hear about this guy and it's like okay.
Right.
All right. And then I remember hearing, about good old Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Oh, gotta love her.
Oh, when she was doing her first gimmick there was like she was doing the Irish step dance, and then then they actually let her be herself, and then that transformed her into where we are today.
And she's the man.
She's the man. Oh, so we got to talk about some of these matches here, folks. This is not going to be in order, but I just got to mention this. So they did on this show Mojo Rawley against CJ Parker, who would go on to beat Juice Robinson, who we all now in AEW in Japan. Mojo Rawley. This is before the Hype Bros. This is like when he first started coming into NXT.
He hadn't gotten hyped yet.
He had not gotten hyped yet, but that was on this show. Tyler Breeze versus Xavier Woods. Like early Tyler Breeze,
early Xavier Woods.
Early Xavier Woods. Do you remember why the match ended in a no contest?
I don't.
Alexander Rusev attacked them both because this is when they were starting to push Rusev in this show. They showed Lana with him. This was like the beginning stages of Rusev. And he had the 2x4 with him like for a short time. Do you remember the early stages of Alexander Rusev? This is early NXT, folks.
Rusev is one of my absolute favorite wrestlers.
Me too.
It's fucking criminal
that he's not on TV right now.
He is somebody that should have been a world champion by now.
Well, you have to talk to Tony Khan about that.
He's a guy that he can turn chicken shit into chicken salad.
He got Rusev Day over.
He got that bullshit over to where everybody was cheering for it.
Yep.
I mean, hell, they even made a Lana Day shirt.
Yep. Agreed.
Like, the fuck are you doing with him?
I don't know. And I mean, I look at this time period where they had started to say, who the hell is this woman with him? And they put Lana in there. I mean, then they had him go into the Royal Rumble, and then they started the whole thing with Vladimir Putin, and everything worked. The Cena match, the entrance, he came out on a freaking tank.
Entrance on a fucking tank, which, fuck the Shawn Michaels entrance from WrestleMania 12. Fuck that.
Forget the zip line.
The goddamn tank.
Yep.
Like, to me, I would. Okay, everyone talks about Forbidden Doors, all that bullshit.
Yep.
Give me a remixed version of Rusev's theme, of Miro's theme, but instead of saying the Rusev Machka, Miro Machka, and the theme at WrestleMania, have him come out in SoFi in the fucking tank after the match and just destroy Theory.
A-Town really go down.
I mean, he is so insanely talented.
Like I said, I don't get why he's not on TV right now, but whatever.
His charisma.
He is, but Tony Khan has.
And even Alana, like she got over, like she got the whole bullshit with the table thing. Getting put through a table like every show, like she got that over.
Yeah, she got Nia Jax killing her, and then my hole happened. Then my hole happened.
I can hear that. There's that whole thing, that meme that says, I can hear pictures.
Yep, my hole. I can still hear her saying my hole. My hole. Oh.
Oh, best thing Nia Jax ever did.
Yes. So like you mentioned, Paige and Emma, which was really good for the NXT Women's. We also had on this show the Ascension, who were the tag champs at the time, defend against Too Cool, Grandmaster Sexay, God rest his soul, and Scotty 2 Hotty. Like, that was early Ascension. Like, they gave them Too Cool on the show, and they retained. Like, early Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay, Too Cool in NXT.
And you know what? When the Ascension were monsters, and you know what? I will say this, they fucked it up with them on the main roster.
They came in like the Road Warriors, and then they got beat up by JBL and the Legends. Then they beat the Outlaws. Then they were with Stardust, the Cosmic Wasteland, and then nothing.
Which could have worked.
It could have. Well, if Cesaro didn't get hurt, it could have worked.
I will say this, as far as, Connor and Victor, it could have worked. Like, they were insanely good.
Right.
Their NXT run,
was awesome. Well, I mean, Connor was originally with with Bram at the time. Kenneth Cameron, Bram.
You mean the former Mr. Charlotte Flair?
The former Mr. Charlotte Flair, yes. Kenneth Cameron, Bram, and then he got released, and then they put Rick Victor with him.
Great move, and
yes.
honestly, you really want to test your knowledge. Shaul Guerrero was part of the Ascension.
Yes, Raquel Diaz. That's right. Yep.
And there was so much great talent in NXT back in the day, and if I remember, it wasn't the main event Adrian Neville versus Pac. Or Adrian Neville is Pac. What the fuck? Wasn't it Bo Dallas versus Pac?
Yes, the ladder match for the NXT Championship. Yep.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, Pac won that.
Yes. Well, they were really building Neville. Like, they did the team with him and Oliver Gray as the NXT tag champion.
I'm sorry. I just got to say, that belt was fucking ugly.
Which one? The NXT Championship?
Yes.
The original one?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the big fucking X?
Well, NXT, Daniel. NXT.
No.
No.
No. No. Fuck it. No.
No.
No. No. But it's like early NXT. Sami Zayn, he wasn't in this yet at this point, was he? I don't think he was.
Well, he was the opening match on this card, him and Cesaro.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't remember when all that, but I remember them having an absolute banger of a match.
It was good. Like it led to like the 2 out of 3 falls matches. Like that was one of the early feuds there, and they had a lot of people can come in like Jinder Mahal and so many people who were doing superstars, Tyson Kidd. So that was like the early stages of NXT that
I
really
still say
rocked.
my absolute favorite match in all of NXT history, as far as singles matches, Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh God, friggin' Dallas 2016.
Oh yeah, like it just so good.
They beat the crap out of each other. You guys want to see strong style? Go back and watch that match.
And I just when we talk about the network, and I feel with us, with WrestleMania being so close, and actually I was rewatching this, what I love about the network is the retro content.
Yep.
The Raw after Mania, you always wonder who's going to show up.
Yep.
I feel like we are at the precipice of something good.
Agreed.
Like I'm wondering, there's a lot. There's Jay White's contract. There's Tamatonga, Tongaloa. There's Hikuleo. Like nobody knows what's going on with Hikuleo.
No, that's like the big surprise, like out of Japan. What's going down with Hikuleo, NXT, main roster?
Where's Jay White? Like they said that WWE and AEW both are. Now, if I'm Jay White,
Yep.
I'm signing with WWE.
Well, I feel if he was to go to AEW being the switchblade, he's going to get lost in the shuffle.
He's gonna get lost in the switch, regardless. Because, and I'm not picking on AEW. I like AEW.
Me either. I like it too, but
The
like
problem is, until something changes, like they don't have enough TV.
well, now we're going to get the Saturday show at 6 p.m. Collision, baby. Collision.
But what I'm saying is, until that actually happens, until we actually get that on air, there is not enough TV time to go around for everybody.
Yep, I agree. No, and I mean they just signed. Who did they just sign? They signed Taya Valkyrie. They re-signed Stu Grayson.
Which is great. Absolutely, I'm happy for him.
Me too. He looked amazing.
Get Alan Angels back while you're at it.
Well, he's an Impact now, along with Connor.
Fuck Impact.
Oh, you have a hatred in your heart for the current Impact product. You hate it. You hate it so much.
I hate Impact as a whole.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Scott,
because of Dixie goddamn Carter.
Damn Carter. Well, Scott D'Amore is now the president of Impact, so congratulations, Scott. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. Yes? No? Okay.
That and the bullshit of how they did Matt Hardy.
Oh, God. And well, then look at the end of the year. They're taking a picture at the airport together. Fucking fuck them.
Impact.
Fuck them. Now, I will say this. So with also they just signed Sarah Stock in AEW to coach the ladies, which makes sense.
Wasn't she the same person? Wasn't she WWE?
Yeah, she was the coach in WWE, and also she was in TNA. Yes, she was in TNA. Yep, she was in TNA as Sarita. Her and Rosita, who would go on to be Zelina Vega, were the Knockouts tag champs, and she was the tag champ with Taylor Wilde. Yep,
I think that's great.
Me too. Like she is very smart. She's from Winnipeg, so they had her do it there. So it works.
But I don't know. It's just there's so much. Like
There's a lot to unpack.
I think Jay White's going to go to WWE. I really do.
And put him on NXT with what we have now. I mean, we have Dragon Lee and so many people there now. I would do it. I would do it.
Not necessarily that. Main roster. Immediate.
Well, yeah, AJ Styles, Bullet Club, the club, yeah.
I think not the night after Mania, Monday night, you have Theory come out and you just have him be that brash, cocky son of a bitch who says, I beat John Cena, and he issues an open challenge.
And it's Jay White.
We get the fucking switchblade.
I like it.
And he's not going to be able to do the Blade Runner because,
Bray Wyatt.
It's for Abigail.
Yep.
Easy enough. And we have Nail's finisher, immediately wins the U.S. title.
Yep. Before it.
You know, we talk about, you know, contracts coming up. Kenneth?
We shall see. I think if it was any time for Kenny Omega to go, it would be now.
And I made this point to the TSK guys, and I will say this, you know, as an aside. I do not give a shit. And I've said this to you. I don't give a shit where a talent goes. Go to NXT, go to WWE, go to AEW, go to New Japan, go wherever you want.
Yep.
As long as you're happy.
That's the main thing that people forget. Like, it doesn't matter where you go as long as you're happy.
And I will say this. Did Cody sell out? No.
No.
You know, I will say this. Wrestlers, they don't owe us a thing.
Nope, they do not.
And let's not forget, Cody even said something went down in AEW that made him leave.
Mm-hmm.
To his credit, he has not said what it is. And I don't think he ever will.
No, because why should he? Who cares?
It's nobody's business but it's him and Tony Khan.
Right.
They know what happened. Do we need to know? No. But wherever a talent wants to go, there is so much wrestling out there now that literally you can go wherever you are. Look at Matt Cardona.
Oh God, he's got all the belts right now. He's the Ultimo Dragon of the Indies.
I still think he's going to end up back in WWE.
Well, with what his fiance is doing now. His wife. Thank you. I'm sorry. His wife, the one and only Chelsea Green, or as I like to call her, Karen, doing what she does on WWE TV now, which is hilarious. But yeah, I can definitely see her back there.
Hear me out.
Right?
She needs a manager.
I mean, I don't know what they're doing with her. I could see
her
it.
Name in mind.
Go ahead.
Vicki Guerrero.
Vicki Garrell with Chelsea Green. Or, okay, well, how about Robert Stone if they get him away from Von Wagner?
No.
Vicki Garrell? Okay.
You have her playing this Karen gimmick.
The Karen gimmick, yep.
What is more Karen than hearing, excuse me?
Right. I agree.
It's a gift. And, you know, and it works. Like, there is so much great network content, you know, and bringing it back to the network. And I still remember how glitchy that was in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
I remember the first couple, I think it was like the first, 3-4 months when it was just like, you know, you would watch it, you know, Mania, and it would stop and then go and then stop. They didn't think it was going to be as popular as it was. They even said that, like, you are literally giving them your library for $10.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think this was going to be popular? Like,
I think that.
What I will say this, and the reason I think this is, you know, they say this is going to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time. You know, SoFi Stadium. It's going to be that, but also, I think this is going to be the last WrestleMania under Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I mean, he did. They say he does have some say, but at the end of the day, Triple H makes the decision. So I think this will be it.
I think this is going to be the one before the sale.
I could definitely see that, Daniel. I do feel like a sale's on the horizon.
Between you and I, and well, of course, our wonderful, wonderful viewers, got to do the Mick Foley thumbs up. I think they already have a buyer.
I'm still saying Disney on this. We've talked about this many times. I got to go Disney.
I think it's either going to be Disney or it's going to be Tony Khan.
I'm leaning more towards Disney.
And I'm just saying, I agree with you. It's going to be one of the two. And if the network moves over to Disney Plus, with the way that Disney Plus is laid out, like their layout, yes.
Agreed.
Like, it's so well laid out. Disney Plus is laid out similar to how the WWE Network used to be.
Well, we have the original series and this and that over here, and then boom, yep.
And it'll be perfect. And this is a point I had. You know, people gave WWE a lot of shit over the Pitch Black match, which, you know, Okay, yeah.
It was bad.
Match for a bullshit soda. Which if you haven't tried it yet, don't. It's ass.
Okay.
I took 2 sips. It's like, yeah, done. Out.
Okay.
I try because I usually will get the 0 sugar and the regular, just because I like to know.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
That's garbage.
If they ended up on the network, or if they ended up getting owned by AEW and by extension Warner, think of the themed matches. We would have a House of the Dragon match.
Yes, we would. Oh my goodness.
We would have the Last of Us Man Standing match.
I will say this: as long as it's not what we had with the zombies with Damian Priest and The Miz, I'm happy.
That was weird.
That was really weird.
But we would have like a House of the Dragon themed match.
Yep, I'm for it.
It'd be a Dragon Fire match. It'd be an Inferno match.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be the last WrestleMania before the sale, and I think there's a report about a month and a half ago of Nick Khan meeting with Disney. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think there's already a deal in place.
Well, Nick Khan he's such a shrewd businessman. Like, I can see that. Like, because he's got it like that. Say what we will about him, but he's a great businessman.
Oh yeah, like I don't think it's Saudi.
I don't either. I don't.
I think they leaked that. I think that was purposely leaked to quash the deal, and also to see how the public would react to it. Like, I think they want to see, like, how would people react to this? And I think we saw how people would react to that.
Oh, everybody went fucking Schitt's Creek.
And I think when you have most of your rosters, like, yeah, we're done.
If you do this, if Saudi takes over, we're gone.
And so I really feel like we are at the front door of major changes in the WWE, and I'm all for it.
I will say this. Change is good, and I think the changes that we have really makes it an exciting time for professional wrestling fans.
The network changed it all.
It did. That's why. What you going to pay $9.99, and here we are.
They even did shirts.
The $9.99 shirts, yes.
I still remember hearing like Michael Cole talking about it, and you just hearing JBL just say, "Shut up, Maggle."
We know how much it costs, Michael Cole. Michael.
Or just Maggle.
Maggle. Ugh. But I will say this, folks. The network changed the game, and it gave us a lot of great content and a lot of great stuff to talk about. And I'm going to say this, Mr. Daniel Kremens, speaking of a lot of great stuff to talk about, before we put a bow on this episode, Promo Mania is next week for Max Wrestling. I'm in promo action against Robert Davis, and you were in promo exhibition action against the Captain for the TV title. Daniel, what can we expect next week between you and the Captain Dazzy Dangerously?
One word. Boom.
Mic drop. So, folks, tune.
Boom.
Boom. Tune into that next week.
One last thing.
Hit me.
With the WWE Network, pick one event that people should watch on the network.
Oh my goodness. What would I pick? Okay.
Favorite event that's on the network.
Favorite event that's on the network. Okay. For me, I would definitely, as we talked about today, pick WrestleMania 30 just because it started all in Brock and The Undertaker. Or I would pick, just because I was there for the retro standpoint, SummerSlam 2002, the return of Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar winning the title. I would pick Survivor Series 02 because of Shawn won the Elimination Chamber. And I would just pick...
Brock pants.
Yeah. The pants. The Brock pants. And yeah, those are some that I would pick. If I had to name a few, those stick out in my mind. What would you pick?
SummerSlam 1994. Undertaker versus Undertaker. Build-up was great. Match, yeah. I'm saying WrestleMania 10.
Yep, Brett and Owen, Shawn and Razor.
Brett and Yoko.
Yes, Brett and Yoko.
I am going WrestleMania 20, another iconic match.
I was there, yeah.
Whole show. There are so many great events. I am going NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
Bayley and Sasha, Kevin Owens and Finn Balor.
Yep, and I think we are also talking... I believe it was FTR versus the Vaudevillains.
Yes. Oh, that is so underrated.
great. They had a great series that those two. Which, you know, who knows what's going on with FTR?
FTR, FTK.
FTK, which if you know, you know. If you don't know, it ain't for you to know.
Ain't for you to know. But yeah, I like that.
There is so much great content. And of course, speaking of great content, Michael Larkin,
Yes.
what do you have coming down the pipeline?
Okay, so guys, if you want to check out this show, subscribe to Mike Larkin 92. Check out SM Show 1 and MCL 92 on the Twitter machine, StephenMikeShow.com, Larkin_92 and M Larkin MB on the Instagrams. Links will be in the description. Dan, where can we get you with the TSK?
We got the TSK show. We got Retro Rewind. We have interesting. We have our Ring of Honor show we're going to be doing for Ring of Honor TV, which is now back. You can get that at I can never remember the name of their app.
The Honor Club?
Honor Club, which, what is the price of that? Oh, $9.99. Which, honestly, has everything Ring of Honor.
Oh, I got to get me some subscription.
I don't think they have an app for, like, you know, PlayStation, Xbox yet. At least I haven't seen it. But it's fantastic. There is so much good content. So many retro superstars are part of that. You got guys like Seth Rollins, aka Tyler Black. You have some guy named Phil Brooks.
CM Punk, yep.
You got this generic guy in a mask.
El Generico, ole, ole, ole.
You've got Kevin Steen, this guy who looks really similar to Kevin Owens.
Used to come out the drowning pool, yep.
You know, you've got the late, great Jay Briscoe. God rest his soul.
Yep.
There's so much there. So much there. And, you know, check us out. You know, you have TSK Adventures. You know, you have my boy Harold Joseph Hunter. He and his wife, they do food reviews. They do touring locations of out in the LA scene. My favorite, they did the Halloween location out in Pasadena. Check them out.
Links will be in the description, folks. And check out our next episode of Uncaged where we talk about missed opportunities. And trust me, there's a lot of them. So,
oh, yeah, we could do a whole series just on that.
Right. A lot to come. Check out the next episode of Uncaged. And as always, my name is Mike Larkin for Daniel Crimmins. We'll see you next time.